I think funding roads is important, but I also think that that doesn't mean that you can't fund other community services. A lot of community services they're vital to attracting new businesses and new residents to the area, as well as quality of life for our existing residents and community members. And one of those things about making us a community and making us a nice place to live and work is having good community resources, which a library is an essential part of that.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the Community Pulse podcast. My name is Danielle, and I'm the Director and Events Coordinator for the St. John's Area Chamber of Commerce. Today, we are joined by Sara Morrison from the Briggs District Library to discuss the library millage renewal that will appear on the August ballot. How are you, Sara?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Please tell us just a little bit about your role at the library, what you do, and then maybe start telling us a little bit about the millage that we're going to be expecting in August.
Well, as you mentioned, my name is Sara Morrison. I have been director here for, believe it or not, over 22 years now. And as far as my role goes, I pretty much do a little bit of everything. So, I mean, I do human resources, I do facility maintenance, I do collection development. It's like just a smattering of everything. So, I guess you could say I make this facility run.
Wear many hats.
Yes, I wear many hats.
All right. So what can we expect with this millage renewal this year?
In 2016, the voters approved 0.75 mil for a 10-year period to provide for library operations. That millage expired at the end of December 2025. The library is requesting a renewal to be able to continue to provide library services to the community.
Wonderful. So can you maybe explain a little bit what the library needs this millage for, or like what it helps fund?
The millage funds basically it's 80% of over 80% of our operating revenue. It funds pretty much everything from the physical collection to electronic resources to the interlibrary loan program to children's and adult programs that we put on here in the meeting room and across the district. Funds facility maintenance, furnaces, air conditioners, salt for the walk, mowing the lawn, utilities. It funds the staff. So yeah, it covers everything.
Okay. And so what challenges would the library face if the renewal doesn't pass?
Well, when you lose 80% of your operating revenue, everything in the library will be critically impacted. I mean, it affects operations, it affects services, it'll affect staff. The library will no longer be able to provide the community with the services that it's accustomed to.
And many people kind of think of the library as just a place to borrow books. What are some of the lesser known services or resources that Briggs offers?
Well, we offer programs, which is a more traditional thing that most people do think about the library having, but we offer programs on site and off site for all ages, so birth through adulthood. We're having story time this morning in the meeting room next door, but we do programs out at the Olive Community Center. We do programs at the Riley Township Hall. We've done programs at a couple local area farms. We've done a couple churches up north of town, just trying to get the programs out to the broader community, as well as the programs we offer on site, which run from book clubs and craft programs and, like I said, story time. So we runs the gamut of interests. We have a this and that collection, which people are starting to be more aware of, and that includes you can check out hotspots and Chromebooks, board games, yard games, puzzles, seeds, fishing poles, cake pans, digital drum, which is never in the building, believe it or not, because it's so cool and popular. It's a statewide program, but you can get a Michigan Activity Pass. You follow the link on our website, and it allows you to explore cultural destinations, parks, campgrounds, recreational areas within the state at discounted rates with your library card. We do have Potter Park Zoo passes here, so you can come check out a Potter Park Zoo pass, and you get parking for your car plus admission into the Potter Park Zoo for everybody that's in your car. So that's available. We have downloadable ebooks, audiobooks, and videos through Hoopla, Canopy, and Libby. We do have Melcat, which is a statewide service, which provides our interlibrary loan. So you can interloan a book. If we don't have it, you can get it from any place else in the state. And then we also have access through the White Pine Library Cooperative. If we can't get it through the state interlibrary loan system, the White Pine Library Cooperative can get stuff from all over the country. So if you can't find it in Michigan, we can get it from across the country. And the state also provides a whole slew of databases from stuff like for business databases and job help databases and health databases that's all free provided through the state, but you can come here to the library and we can help you access those resources. We have our own set of online resources that we pay for. We have our patrons have access to consumer reports online. We have Global Warrior, which has a whole bunch of country information, which is really good if you're doing homeschooling and trying to do country projects and stuff with your kids. We have Mango, which is a language learning platform, and it's got, Japanese, Chinese, pirate. It has American Sign Language in there. So pretty much any language you can think of, you can use Mango to learn how to speak that language. And we just recently got a product it's called Brain HQ. It was touted on NPR, and one of our patrons actually asked for it. It helps with memory and attention and speed exercises. It's all about reinforcing cognitive function in your brain.
Is that something that's more geared towards the older population or the younger population?
I would say it started out with the concept is it's geared toward the older population. There's been a lot of studies showing that if you use that it can improve your brain function by 25%, and it really helps with dementia and Alzheimer's. But then they're now looking at it in younger individuals and discovering that it helps improve cognitive function in all ages, like from middle school up. So just because it was originally intended for senior citizens doesn't mean that the rest of us can't use it and improve our brain function, I guess you could say, earlier in life, so to speak.
So it sounds like the library offers so many services that I didn't even know were available. As a voter, can you tell me a little bit more about how much this millage would cost an average property owner to keep those services continued?
Okay, so the millage costs basically 75 cents for every $1,000 of taxable property value. For example, a house with a taxable value of $115,000 would pay $86.25 annually, or about $1.66 a week.
Okay, awesome. And is this a new tax or an increase in the current taxes, or what can voters expect after this millage goes through? What their taxes may look like?
So yeah, the two combined equal 0.75 mils, which is the same amount the voters approved in 2016. For example, a house with a taxable value of $94,000 paid $69.09 to the library in 2025. In 2026, with a Headley override applied to that same household pays $70.52, which is an annual difference of $1.43.
So it's essentially what they're paying now, a couple cents more per year.
Yes, you're talking
And
most people, it's less than $1.50 a year to roll the Headley off, and it has a huge impact on our ability to maintain and sustain services for the next 10 years.
And that's all those free services that you listed, plus many, many more that can be found. Can those services be found on your website, or is it better for people to come in to view your services?
Oh, no, you can find most of our services are listed on our website, from all the resources I mentioned previously you can even go on our website now if you want to use one of the quiet study rooms or the meeting rooms. We have a system on there where you can go in and reserve a room for free if you're inside the district. So yeah, everything is available on our website, but if you don't want to play with the technology side of things, you are more than welcome to stop in the library and we will help you, put you in contact with all these services. Or you can call on the phone and we can talk you through it on the phone if you're trying to access some of the stuff online from home. So it's all sorts of different ways to connect with us.
Great. And Sara, when is Election Day and who is eligible to vote on that proposal?
Election Day is Tuesday, August 4th. And individuals can also take advantage of early voting from Saturday, the July 25th through Sunday, August 2nd. And then you also you have the option to vote absentee ballot if you've registered to do so with your local clerk. All registered voters that reside in the library service area, in which is the city of St. John's and the St. John's School District portions of Bengal, Bingham, Essex, Greenbush, Olive, Riley, Victor, and Westphalia townships, are eligible to vote.
Okay, Sara, can you talk to me a little bit more about? So it sounds like the millage that was approved in 2016 had a natural expiration of December of 2025. And this request is a continuation of that original millage. But can you tell me a little bit more about maybe the building addition that you guys did this year, and how those funds were collected? Was the building part of the 2016 to 2025 millage funds, or did you guys fund that building renovation separately?
The lion's share of that building renovation was funded separately from the millage. It was a $1.6 million project. Of that, 77.6% of that money came from outside sources. So we through grants, fundraisers, donations. So there is a small portion of that money that obviously came from library operating revenue, but a lot of that revenue was collected when we were shut down during COVID, when we weren't paying staff, we weren't buying books, we were saving on utilities because we couldn't be open to the public, but the millage was still collected during COVID. So that's where the remainder of that money primarily came from, is money that was saved during COVID.
So it sounds like some of that COVID money saved you guys a little pocket change that you were able to then put towards the other approximately 20% of the building renovation. And then the rest of it was grant funded. Does that sound accurate?
Yes.
What would you say to someone who maybe says things to the tune of, we don't need more money going to the libraries, we need our roads fixed? What would you say to someone coming with that commentary? Sara, what would you say to someone who might be thinking that funding the library isn't as important as maybe spending our tax dollars on the streets and the roads in the community?
I think funding roads is important, but I also think that that doesn't mean that you can't fund other community services. A lot of community services they're vital to attracting new businesses and new residents to the area, as well as quality of life for our existing residents and community members. And one of those things about making us a community and making us a nice place to live and work is having good community resources, which a library is an essential part of that.
Is there anything else that you would like voters to know before they head to the polls?
Don't forget to vote your entire ballot, because the library millage request is on the back of the ballot, and that we greatly appreciate the community support over the last 10 years.
And Sara, where can people find the library online or contact the library with questions?
People can visit the library's website at briggsdistrictlibrary.org, or follow the library on our social media via Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. You can also call the library with questions. Our number is 989-224-4702. You can send emails to me, which is director@briggsdistrictlibrary.org. Then if you go on our website, on the Contact Us portion of the website page, there is a form you can fill out and submit requests or for information that way too.
So it sounds like there's lots of options for reaching out to the library. And are you guys open Monday through Friday, or what are your typical days of operation?
We're open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 8, Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 3.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining the Community Pulse podcast and for being such a big part of the community.